Welcome, yogis. Before we settle on our mats for our practice, let's have everything that we need for our practice. So your usual props, your bolsters or bolster equivalents, large pillows, rolled up towels, rolled up blankets, rolled up duvet. That makes a good bolster. Having your blankets, I always recommend having a couple of blankets because you can line your mat for extra comfort. You could also use it for your head as a cushion, lift your seat, cover yourself to keep warm. And then having some cushions. And I'm going to reach for my cushion. Always handy to have a couple of cushions close by. Then we have everything we need. And bricks if you have bricks. If you don't have bricks, I always recommend using some large books or a low footstool. And then that sometimes just helps to bring the earth up towards you so that you don't have to reach as far down to get to the earth. The earth rises up to meet you. Let's come into our comfortable seats to open our practice, your Sukhasana. Ground down through your sit bones. Lengthen through your spines. Let's roll your shoulders up towards your ears and slide them down and away. Palms face up on your knees. We're going to bring in our vayu mudra for our practice today. This is connecting to the air element, which is the sign that the moon is in, full moon in Aquarius. By folding in your index finger and then taking the thumb and placing the tip of the thumb at the sort of knuckle of the finger. So it's a really deep bend in your index finger. So bring the tip of that index finger to the base of the thumb, like so. Take a few moments here to connect with our breath. Come into our stillness. I invite you to close your eyes or take a downward gaze towards the earth, softening the gaze, beginning to withdraw from the external environment. As you settle here into your stillness, begin to observe the movement within your body, the movement of your breath, the rise and fall of your breath, the air element within you, literally inhaling, exhaling, this movement within your body of the breath, of the air. Follow the journey of that breath. Notice how when you inhale, the breath is cooler, drawing it deep into your lungs. Notice how the belly, ribs, chest expand. And as you exhale, notice how again the navel contracts, ribs and chest contract. And the outward, the return breath is warmer. Also notice the difference in the breath journey. The in-breath is shorter, the out-breath is longer. The breath will help guide you into this place of inward reflection, stillness of thoughts. And know that if they move, if they swirl, that your breath and the pace of your breath, the slowness of your breath will begin to be mirrored by the thought pattern, by the physical pattern. This full moon in Aquarius, the practice that we're honoring today in our yin, is a restless, dynamic, intense energy. The practice of yin will help to guide, direct, contain this energy so that it becomes purposeful, becomes directed, becomes an intention that can be leading you to your aspirations, your goals, your dreams. Leading you from the individual internalized journey to the outward, external, collective journey. Three more full breaths here. And then I invite you to bring your hands together in Namaskar at the heart center. Here at the Untitled Chakra, where the element of air, vayu, is deeply connected. Inhale fully into your heart space. Exhale completely from the heart space. Inhale to prepare. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Hands to your eyebrow center. Namaste and welcome to our yin practice. So we're going to be working with the element of air, this uplifting, expansive, energizing element. It connects to the full moon in Aquarius. This is a rebellious, freedom-seeking, freedom-giving, freedom-loving moon. So our practice today will be of one to embrace, to be fearless, to connect with the anahat energy, the unstruck sound within that conveys and permeates the energy around you, without you even being consciously aware of this gift that you have. So let's start off by coming into butterfly pose. So open your knees. Bring the soles of your feet together. Connect the soles, bringing them together. The left, the right. Your option here is, if you have a bolster or pillow available, you can use the bolster or pillow. If not, then you can simply relax and hang out. The option without the pillow or bolster, take hold of your shins, lengthen through your spine, and then as you exhale, hinge forward and fold here. Soften through your upper body. The practice of yin is a yielding, nurturing practice in which we soften and surrender and release. This begins to connect with the deeper tissue, the deeper ligaments and tendons. We're working beyond the sort of muscles. We're working much deeper level here. If you have a bolster, a pillow, you could always create an angle with your bolster and then rest your eyebrows center on your bolster, or create a sort of bridge. So I'll turn sideways, you can see here. It's always worth taking a few minutes to set yourself up. So if you have bricks or large books, you can create a bridge for your bolster and then rest your eyebrow center on your bolsters like so. Alternatively, you can place the bolster on your feet And always lift it so you can use several pillows or bolsters, and then exhale and fold here. So lots of forward folding, resting on your bolster or large pillows, or softening and allowing your head to be relaxed. Yogi's choice. We'll be here for 3 minutes. Get comfortable, soften. Find your comfortable edge. So when we talk about sukh, comfort, ease, yin, it is this physical place that we meet that extends from where we normally are, but not beyond that edge. It's a challenge, but a challenge that we are able to confidently meet. And safely meet. And use the out breath. The out breath will help to release tension, to release thoughts of fear or anxiety. The full moon is a time to manifest, express. It is a time to venture from our usual place of familiarity. A place from which to move forward with courage. Three more breaths here. And then on the inhale, rise up to unfurl your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Rising up here, take a moment. We're going to transition into squat, a yogi squat, not popular with many people. We're embracing this fullness of the moon. So you can use your pillows or low footstool and come to sit on your pillow, your bolster. Feet planted on the earth. Toes and knees turning out in the same direction. And then bring your elbows to the inside here of your knees, and your hands can be in namaskar at the heart, or your arms can be extended with your index finger folded in to come into your vayu mudra. If yogis wish to engage here without a bolster, sit down, yogi. Come into your comfortable squat. We will be here for 2 minutes. So if at any point you wish to connect with the earth, connect with your bolster, connect with your pillow, I invite you to make those choices for yourself. So your options for your hands are hands at heart center, or arms extended, hands in vayu. So this restless energy of this full moon, this shifting, circulating energy, we're bringing it in. We're guiding it through a very still and focused practice in which we drop down into the heart space. I invite you here to connect with your intention, your sankalpa, this call for action. It may be loud and difficult to avoid. It may be a whisper. ever increasing in volume. This full moon in Aquarius is a revolutionary moon. It is a changing paradigm. One more breath here. Whichever variation you're in, bring your hands to the earth and come onto your shins and knees here. Just for a moment in Virasana. I invite you to fold a blanket. You can always place this blanket. So if you have a couple of blankets, your options for blankets are knees on a blanket that lifts your knees. If the inside of your ankles feels really uncomfortable here, roll up your blanket. Let's create some space here. So just create a little roll at the top of your blanket. You don't want it too high, just so that it's restful for your ankles. And then place your ankles, inside of your ankles, on the rolled bit. Your toes can be on the extended bit of your blanket here. If this still isn't super comfortable for you, this is where a cushion can come as a little seat between your heels and sit bones. You can place it underneath your knees. So these are options for your hero pose, Virasana. Let's settle here for a moment, really focusing what's going on in your heart space here. Lengthen through your spine. Fingertips can be resting on the earth either side of you, or you can place your hands in your laps, bring them into your mudra. An option always here is to place a block or a blanket or a cushion on your lap so that your shoulders are relaxed. This is hero pose, Virasana. And we're inviting in this heroic energy so that as we move forward in this revolutionary move, with this rebellious nature, you rise as a hero, a rebel, a true revolutionary. Again, listen to the sound of the heart, the unstruck sound. Tune in. What is it calling you to do? Is it asking you to move from the self-concerns that we have and respond to the societal concerns, societal calls? Three more breaths here. And we're going to move into a gentle heart opening here, gentle back bend. So if you have a bolster or large pillows, place them on the earth behind you. We're going to take our fingertips and place them either directly on the earth or on your bolster or your pillow. So have your fingertips turning away from you. And then inhale and lift through your heart space. Draw your shoulder blades together. Lift your gaze up towards the sky. And if you're looking up your ceiling, the place you want to focus your gaze, your drishti, is the place where the wall meets the ceiling. And if you're new to practice with me, you will hear the sounds of my dogs. They love to be in the room with me while I practice. Sometimes they get restless too. If you wish to deepen this back bend, you can bring your hands directly to the earth and then lift your sit bones off the earth so that your thighs are engaged. You're pushing the earth away. Keep drawing your shoulder blades together. Maybe play around with your hands. So if you do lift your sit bones, you might want to turn your fingertips in towards you to put less of a strain on your wrists. This is hard work here. One more breath. Exhale to lower your sit bones back to your heels. Let's move forward carefully, directly into child's pose. We're going to opt for a wide-legged child's pose today. So big toes come to touch. Knees as wide as your mat. You may have a blanket to rest your eyebrow center on your blanket. You may also have your bolster or pillows and rest directly on your bolster or pillows. We'll be here for a couple of minutes, so let's be comfortable. Lengthen, and then as you exhale, bring your eyebrow center to rest on the earth, on your bolster, on your blanket. And this is the place to soften. To release. Cultivate faith in the journey that we all take from what is known to what is unknown. To have trust that this journey from what is to what will be will take us to a more just and equitable place. This leap into the unknown, this leap into fear. Coming into child's pose when you feel fear can help bring a sense of safety. We're going to move from child's pose into the twist variation. So I invite you to, when you're ready, to rise slowly on the in-breath. Keep a wide-legged stance here. Reach your arms forward as far as they can reach. And then let's thread the right arm under the left. And bring your right ear down to the earth. This left hand that's directly stretched in front, you can keep that hand there, or you can bring the left palm to meet the right palm. If your head and shoulder feel uncomfortable here, you can line your mat and create a little pillow with your blanket. So rest your shoulder on the earth and then your head on the blanket or cushion. So it gives you a little bit of space between your ear and the shoulder. I'm going to be here for at least a minute. Notice the breath here, how the element of air is circulating. Now you have the option with your left hand to take it behind your back and rest the back of your left hand on your right hip. And always bring your fingers into vayu mudra. Three more breaths here. And then let's release that left hand And bring it to the earth next to your head, so that you begin to lift your right shoulder right here off the mat. I'm going to move directly onto the other side. So switch your blanket over if you wish. Spread your arms, reaching forward as far as they can go. And then let's take the left arm underneath the right arm. And bring the left ear either to your blanket or directly to the mat, yogi's choice. The right hand can stay where it is, or you can take it out to the side so that it rests on top of your left hand. Let's turn around so you can see. This moon helps to lift the veils of illusion, delusion, giving us clarity. The element of air takes us into this higher consciousness, helping us to have clarity of vision, of understanding. So this is why this moon is a revolutionary moon. It helps us to see what is not working, what is destructive or unhealthy, so that we can no longer fool ourselves, or convince ourselves that all is well, all is good, all is right. What needs changing reveals itself. You have the option of taking the back of the right hand to your left hip if you so wish. This moon is often called a breakthrough or breakout moon. It's an opportunity to break out from what is the norm, the established pattern, the way of doing things, to embrace new change, to realign. One more breath here. Let's release that right hand back to the earth. And then pressing into the earth, inhale to slowly lift your shoulder and ear off the mat. Let's come onto our sit bones for a moment and extend our legs long. They've been folded underneath us for some time. So perhaps you place your hands on the earth and then windshield wiper your knees one way or the other. This will help to release. Maybe you rotate your ankles one way or the other. Perhaps you can rub your legs so that you can allow energy to flow up and down without that sense of constriction. From here, we are going to come into a bridge pose for the moment, then we'll roll back onto our fronts. So to move into our bridge pose, we're going to take a restorative version of our bridge. We'll be opening up across the heart. So if you have your bolster or a cushion available, reach for those now. I'm going to place my bolster, so if you have a large pillow, you can place it under your knees now, or if you're using your cushions, have them next to you on the mat. Exhale to the earth here. Plant your feet by bending into your knees. Engage your core and then begin to peel your pelvis off the earth, lifting your sit bones. Now this is where you might need to lift so that you can roll your bolster and your pillow directly underneath your sacrum. So Feel where your tailbone is. You want the tailbone to be in the middle of your bolster or pillow, so that you have the sensation of lift, but you still have your lower back supported. The heaviest part of you, your hips and pelvis, are resting on the bolster or pillow. If you have your bolster or pillow directly underneath your lower back, this will put a strain and pressure on your lower back. So you definitely want to have it underneath your hips and pelvis. And you'll feel that this is more restorative. Allow your arms to rest alongside your body, slightly away at an angle. Keeping your chin tucked, gazing up towards the sky. We'll be here for 3 minutes. So if you want to cover yourself with a blanket, I invite you to do that. If you are using your cushion, then again you have your cushion placed underneath your sacral area. You can have several cushions here. So remember, the height of your cushion or bolster or pillows is up to you. The closer to the earth, the less intense it might feel. You're still having the experience of opening across your heart here. I have a rebellious, revolutionary dog. We'll be here for 1 more minute. So if you want to adjust the height at which your bolster, pillow, or cushion is, so you might want to add a cushion, you might wish to remove a cushion. Three more breaths here. From here, from bridge, we're going to transition into happy baby. This will be interesting for me with my dog standing right over me. Inhale, pressing into the earth with your forearms. Lift your hips and pelvis. And then roll or slide your bolster or pillow out from underneath you. And then gradually lower your hips and pelvis back to the earth. Take a moment to align here. And then moving slowly and mindfully. Remember, we're trying to guide this restless energy into an energy that we can use in a purposeful, focused way. Bend into your knees and hug them into your heart space. Pavan. Now your options for happy baby are taking your hands to the back of your thighs and lifting the soles of your feet up towards the sky. Another option is to weave your arms through the middle of your legs and then take your hands to the outside edges of your feet. An alternative is to take hold of your big toes with your peace fingers so that your thumb presses on the big toenail and the peace fingers are wrapped around the back of the toe, the big toe. Another option is to double bind your arms so that you go through the middle, around the outside of your lower legs, and then take hold of your big toes. Come into the variation of happy baby. So variation 1, hands to the back of your thighs. Variation 2, arms through the middle of your legs, holding the outer edges of your feet. Variation 3 is through arms through the middle. Take them outside of your shins and then take hold of your big toes or the outside of your feet. Have the soles of your feet parallel to the sky. Visualize here the expansive full moon. The full moon energy connects to the feminine. This cooling, nurturing, receptive energy. So you'll notice here that the quality of feminine isn't related to gender. It is the quality that we all have in a varying degree or spectrum. In yoga philosophy, it is associated with the power of creation. The power to create in nature, the power to create in imagination. It is the spark of energy. The Big Bang. 3 more breaths here in Happy Baby. Ananda Blossom. And then let's release the toes. Take a moment and then bring the feet down to the earth. Windshield wiper your knees one way, then the other way. From here, we're going to transition into angel wings. Actually, no, let's transition into cat pulling its tail and then go into angel wings. You'd think I plan my classes. Sometimes I'm inspired by what I feel like would be the most appropriate way to connect with an energy. So cat pulling its tail, we want to roll over onto our right side here. And then come onto our right forearm. So we've been here before, this sort of as if we're posing or sunbathing. Now, if your right hip feels really uncomfortable here, I suggest you line your mat with a blanket. Give yourself a little bit of padding. All those bony protuberances. This left leg, top leg, stretch it out in front of you. So some of you might have it parallel to your hip. Some of you might have it more of a diagonal. So find the angle that suits you wherever you are. That bottom leg, the right leg, begin to move it behind you. And with your left arm, see if you can take hold of your right ankle, big toe. You can wrap your peace fingers around that big toe. This might be enough for you. If you want to experiment and explore a little bit further, release your toe. And what I'm going to invite you to do is to extend your right arm on the earth and then bring your whole right side onto the earth. And then open out through the left arm and take hold of that left foot again. And bring your left shoulder down towards the earth. So now you're reclined on the earth. So you have this corkscrew effect through your spine. That left shoulder is down towards the earth. Your heart space is spiraling up towards the sky. You have hold of your left foot or your left big toe. That left leg is extended. Sorry, you're holding the right toe with your left hand. The right leg is folded underneath and reaching back. The left leg is extended out away from the body. the right arm is extended out away from your body, or you're on your forearm in the higher variation. So I'm going to come back to the variation on my forearm so that if you moved with me and found that it wasn't comfortable, you can come back up onto your right forearm. This left leg, remember, you can have a gentle angle. It doesn't need to be a 90-degree angle. You can also have a bend in that left leg. It doesn't feel comfortable to have your right forearm on the earth. Another variation is to place your right forearm on a cushion. This is the beauty of the yin practice. We can move along a spectrum of shapes, poses, finding our edge wherever it may be, moving towards our edge, moving away from our edge. Incredibly cheeky breath today. One more breath here. And then gradually we're going to release that right foot and then bend into our left knee. Let's bend into our knees for a moment. Rise up onto your right forearm if you're on the earth. And then let's come directly to the earth. Lying on your back for a moment before we move to the other side. The option here is hugging your knees if that will help to contain some release. The option of lifting your legs to the sky, coming to Vipariti Karani variation. If you're near the wall, you can always put your legs on the wall, against the wall. Just here for a moment, just as a counter pose. And then let's move to the other side. So let's bring our feet to the earth. Roll over onto the left hip and come onto the left forearm. I think my dog wants to be a TV star today. So you're on your left forearm, and again, you can place your left forearm on a cushion. Let's reach our right leg across our body. The left leg has a bend in the knee. You have the option of reaching back and taking hold of your left foot, left ankle, taking hold of the big toe. I'm going to turn around so this for me. Can you see that, please? Right leg is reaching out across your body. The left leg is bent. You're taking hold of the left leg with your right hand. So your left foot, left big toe. If this is comfortable, you stay here. If you wish to come down towards the earth, extend that left arm away from your body. And release the right shoulder to the earth. Lift your gaze towards the sky here. Cat's tail reclined or resting on your left forearm. And remember that right leg can be at a more acute angle, or it can be at a more generous angle. This moon in Aquarius takes us from being focused in on ourselves to a more holistic, more expansive view, perception, so that it encompasses others. This opening of the heart here. This is not an easy pose to come into. And sometimes it is a challenge to not be stuck in our own visions, in our own dreams. Sometimes we have to have more inclusive dreams and visions and hopes. One more breath here in cat pulling its tail. Release your left toe and then bend into both your knees here. If you're on your left forearm, come to the earth. And let's all roll onto our back. So coming off our left hip onto our back. And here I'm going to invite everyone to lift your legs up long. Toes flexed, softly flexed, not so relaxed, so that your toes are relaxed. Your feet have a gentle flex in them. If this feels unsustainable to you, you can always turn to a wall and have your legs along the wall. So coming right up to the wall with one hip, and then so have the side of your hip right up against the wall, and then legs lift up, and then you sort of swing your upper body around. If you're not near a wall, an option for you is to place your bolster or your cushion underneath your sit bones, your sacrum, and then keep those legs lifted. If you have a bolster, again, you can always make use of your bolster. So placing the bolster underneath your knees before sliding it back underneath your sit bones. And this time, making sure that you don't want to be very much in your bolster. Your bolster literally is just right under your tailbone. So you're not in the middle of your bolster, you're sort of at the top end of your bolster. So that when you extend your legs, it's almost as if you're sliding off your bolster. So I have a bolster which has got flat seeds in it. So it's less firm, it has a lot more give. If you have a very firm bolster and this feels too high for you, then I recommend you use a cushion or a folded blanket or towel here. Have your arms away from your body. And play around with the angle of your legs. So you might notice that when your legs are really at an acute angle, it feels really heavy. At a 90-degree angle, it might feel as if you are shaky and wobbly. And if you have your legs too far out, you have to engage your core. So you want to be at an angle where your core isn't necessarily engaged. And you can have a sense of gravity traveling down your legs. And visualize here, what I like to do, the full moon at my feet. We're here for another 3 breaths. And then we'll move into angel wings before we'll come into our final pose. Bend into your knees and hug them in towards you. If you're at the wall, Turn onto your side to come away from the wall. If you're on your bolster, bring in your legs and then roll the bolster away with care. From here, let's transition onto our front. So wherever you are, just roll over onto your front. If you have your blanket here on the mat, it will help feel more comfortable for you. Coming onto your front here. So extend your legs long behind you. Have your forearms on the earth here just for a moment in Sphinx. Your forearms can be quite wide. We're not staying in Sphinx today. With your right arm, reach out to the side, place your hand on the earth, and then slide that right hand away so that you bring your right shoulder to the earth. Rest on your right ear here. Your left forearm is on the earth. There's a bend in your elbow. Now this might feel like enough of a stretch here. An option is to begin to roll onto your right hip. Bend into your knees so that you are on your right hip. You have a bend in your knees. Your right arm is extending away from your body. You feel a deep opening here in your shoulder, the front of your shoulder. This left hand or forearm are on the earth, or your left hand is acting as a scaffold. Now, depending on how intense you want this experience, and hopefully you can hear me, you can extend your legs long. This left hand can stay on the earth to support you, or you can take it behind your back. This is an intense shoulder opener. I'm going to turn around so you can see a different view. So your knees can be bent with your left forearm on the earth, or your left hand connected with the earth and elbow lifted, so it acts like a scaffold. You can have your legs extended long so that you're really on the side of your right hip. And again, you can have your left hand to stabilize you, or you can reach behind your back. And you can either rest the back of your left hand on the lower back, or you can reach behind and take hold of your right arm, yogi's choice. If at any point it feels uncomfortable, roll back towards your abdomen, and that will ease the intensity in that right shoulder. Having a bend in your knees will also help to take the pressure off. One more breath here. We're not here for long because this is a challenging pose. Gradually roll off your right hip and onto your abdomen so that you come back down the earth and bend into your right elbow. And then inhale to rise into Sphinx just for a moment. If Sphinx feels too intense, take your elbows wide, hands on top of each other, eyebrow center resting on your hands. Crocodile variation. We're going to move into the left arm, so the left wing, which is where I spend most of my political life. Let's reach out with our left arm away from you. Right forearm on the earth or right hand on the earth. Inhale and begin to roll onto your left hip this time. Have a bend in your knees. The left hand is flat on the earth. The left arm is extended away from your body. The more you roll onto your left hip, the more you extend your arms, legs. And by lifting onto the right fingertips, or by taking the right hand behind your back, or reaching for your left arm, the more intense this pose will feel. So come to your comfortable edge. So this energy that has been restless, dynamic, intense, should feel much calmer. This is an energy of shift and upheaval. It's revolutionary in character. It's not destructive. It is constructive. It's a visionary energy. One more breath here in your variation of angel wings, so you can have your knees bent. If your legs are extended, now is a good time to bend into your knees. If your right hand is behind your back, let's bring it to the earth in front of your body. And let's begin to roll onto your abdomen just for a moment. And then we're going to roll onto our backs. Get ready for Shavasana. So come into your variation of Shavasana. Let's make it restful. If you're staying for the Gong Bath, set yourself up for a super comfortable Shavasana. Remember, if you're staying for the Gong Bath, to have your YouTube clip ready so that you can switch right into the YouTube after the 15 minutes of settling and introduction. You might place your bolster underneath your knees. Cover yourself with your blanket. Have a cushion underneath your head. Allow your feet to soften, your ankles to soften. The feet fall away from each other. The knees soften. The arms away from your body, fingers gently curl, shoulders down and away from your shoulders. Tuck your chin ever so slightly. Closing your eyes. Turning inward. Allowing this sense of stillness despite the activity around and outside. Withdraw into yourself. Softening, surrendering here. Knowing that this full moon has given you clarity, wisdom, discernment, element of air to which the Aquarius sign is connected. It's an expansive, uplifting, energizing quality. Closing your eyes, allowing the withdrawal of your senses. Softening, releasing through your body. Knowing that You have the option of staying here now for some time. Stay for the gong settling and introduction. And then perhaps if you wish to return to your YouTube Gong Bath later, remember to use your headphones. As we invite and welcome in more friends to join the gong part. And if you are rising and need to get on with your time, remember to silently close your practice by chanting Om 3 times. With a minimum of disruption and disturbance to yourself. Welcome, welcome, welcome home to yourself. Welcome to your full moon gong. Your full moon gong and nidra. The setting and introduction, which creates community, helps to create a sense of safety from which to embark on your journey into gong sound. This full moon in Aquarius illuminates the night skies, a freedom-seeking moon. A moon that highlights the urge in all of us to be free and liberated. Remember, if the energy of the ether comes and goes, stay with us. This revolutionary moon brings a shift in energy, a shift in consciousness from the individual to the collective. It is symbolized by a water-bearing goddess. She is a visionary, a humanitarian, life-giving and nourishing, connecting us with the source of nature and giving us a sense of empowered responsibility. Nourishing us so that we may move forward with purpose. The river is fast flowing in this moon, this dynamic energy. It washes away all that has come in its way, the dams that have tried to contain it. It is a waterfall of energy. Now is not the time to tread carefully or cautiously. Now is the time to step into the power, to step into change, to take on the mantle of responsibility if you have power and privilege to be able to enact change. So this will not be a gentle calling. As you settle for your gong and prepare for your gong, know that your sanctuary provides you with safety. That the symbol of Aquarius is of a water-bearing goddess who nourishes and replenishes you, offering you all that you need from which to start off on this journey. You are not alone. You are not depleted at the start of your journey. You are replenished and nourished so that you have the capacity to move forward. Where energy is not channeled, where energy is not offered up, it then becomes restless, frustrated. Allow the Gong Bath to be the instrument of lifting the veil, of helping us to see how conditioned we are by the chains of repression, suppression, oppression. The comet Neowise, which circuits and orbits, comes within earthly sights once every 6,000 years. It is passing by since July, permeating its energy of wisdom. So this time, a coincidence of symbiotic time, of the element of air in Aquarius and the Neowise comet, creates clarity of vision, of wisdom, leading us to higher consciousness. As a spiritual being, having this human experience, know that we can achieve liberation not only for ourselves but for others. This moon calls for action, calls for you to rebel, to emancipate yourself, to break free of the restrictions, the binds, the limits that hold us all back from evolving, the fear, the caution, which prevents us from taking a leap of faith. The full moon in Aquarius is like a compass. As you prepare, drop down into your heart space. The gong is the struck sound. Your heart space is the unstruck sound. The vibration of the gong pulsates in harmony with the vibration of the universe. And that in turn vibrates with the pulse of your heart. Name and express gratitude for all that you have achieved, all that you have manifested. And then hear the calling for what is next, for what comes next, what is going to take us forward, what change is yet to come, what change have we already experienced. Which new story, which new narrative, which new vision are you going to connect with? So trust and surrender in the Gong Bath. See what arises. Hear what is calling you. Recognize what is limiting you. And then move from that place of the self into the universal. Move from that place of the individual to the collective. As we close the settling and introduction with the minimal of disruption to your nervous system, have ready your headphones, your link to the YouTube Gong Bath where the sound quality is better. Know that the Gong Bath is powerful. But these times call for powerful action. This moon calls for powerful action. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help sing? these songs of freedom. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? Because all I ever have are redemption songs. All I ever have, redemption songs. Know that in your practice, things will rise. Know that you are safe in your sanctuary that you have created. Know that after your Gong Bath practice, to nurture yourself by hydrating, by eating dark chocolate, by connecting with the earth. Know that I am here to support you, to offer advice should you need it. I'm going to close this part by chanting Om Som Somaye Namaha, the mantra to connect with the full moon, the nectar, the sweetness of reward that is gifted from the full moon. Om Som Somaye Namaha. Om Som Somaye Namaha. Om Som Somaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.